Hi, welcome to the course Introduction to Programming Using C. This is lecture 2, Introduction to C. So in this course, we'll be learning about power of C, why we are using C language, how to program in C, and then what is IDE, what is Integrated Development Environment, and then practical explanation of IDE and Dev C++, which we will be using for C. Now, talking about power of C, C language has almost unlimited powers to do with computers. It is very easy to write a program in C that stops the running of computers, so be careful while programming in C. C is the most commonly used programming language for writing operating systems. Operating systems like GNU, Linux were all written in C. Now, why C? It is the precursor and inspiration for almost all of the most popular high-level languages available today. In fact, Perl, Python, PHP and Ruby are all written in C. This is amazing. This is awesome. By way of analogy, let's say that you were going to be learning like Spanish, Italian, French or Romanian. Do you think knowing Latin would be helpful? Just as Latin was the basis of all those languages, knowing C will enable you to understand and appreciate an entire family of programming languages built upon the traditions of C. Knowledge of C enables freedom. Now, how to programming using C? We will need Dev C++. What is Dev C++? Dev C++ is IDE, Integrated Development Environment. What is IDE? IDE is software which software developers or programmers use to create code, test it and do all sort of things. Now talking about IDE, an IDE typically contains number 1, a code editor, number 2, a compiler or interpreter, number 3, and a debugger, accessed through a single graphical user interface GUI. So the user writes and edits source code in the code editor. Source code is just the code which they write, programmers write, and they want to execute. So they write that in code editor. The compiler translates that source code into a readable language that is executable for a computer. So compiler does that, transferring the source code into readable language, and then the debugger tests the software to solve any issues or bugs. So I just want to show you the Dev C++ just for the sake of clarity and completeness. So how does it look like and how it fits into the definition. So I just want to open the existing file. Okay, so this is a GUI, a single graphical user interface. What does by graphical user interface means that there are graphical images through which we could work with this software, this Dev C++. For example, if you want to run the program, if you look at the debugger and if you look at the compiler, and there are lots and lots of options which we'll be exploring in later lectures. For now, you need to understand this is Dev C++, and this has GUI, graphical user interface. We don't need to code like we do it in command line prompt. Secondly, we need to understand that this area is editor. This is called editor, where we write the source code. This code is a source code. Thirdly, this course need to be compiled. So for compiling, we compile it or press F9. After compilation, so this is a compile log. Whatever the results are, they come here, and if there are any debugging or any error, so it has been generated here, or we could debug the whole program. If there are any errors, so the results are generated here. And the most importantly, this is also a compiler log in which there is a line. So this third line has the function main. Every line has some kind of a statement. So if there are any debugging messages or errors, so accordingly in front of the line number and the error message will be generated. So we will be working with this Dev C++, how to install it, how to start working with it, and in the next lecture we will be writing our first program in C.